Thanks for watching Valaction Videos. If you like what you see, please click the subscribe link or like it down below. Thank you. Well, hello fellow lean thinkers. This is Jeff Hayek of Valaction Continuous Improvement. Again, this is my virtual consulting series, and I'd just like to talk to you about some things that I do when I go in and try and help companies. So imagine I just started with a company. It's my first walkthrough in one of their production areas. I like to know basically what percent value added is their work. And by value added, I'm talking about the tasks that you are doing that a customer would be willing to pay for if they saw on one of your invoices. So walking to get a part is not value added. Tightening a screw with a wrench is value added. Attaching a part, value added. Sanding off a part that didn't fit properly, obviously non-value added. So when I first go in an organization, they generally don't have a great understanding of what percent value added their work actually is. In many cases, they overestimate it. One of the conservative estimates is that about 95% of work is non-value added. And it's because we look at tasks in big pictures. We look at install a wheel onto one of my fictional Valaction carts. The installation of the wheel would sound like a value-added task. But if I had to walk over and get the wheel, and if I had to clean up the grease that I dropped on the floor, and all those sorts of tasks, those things all end up causing you time and causing you expenses, but it's not really something that the customer wants to pay for. So it's all stuff that you want to be able to target. So when I first go into an organization, I like to take a look at that and try and get a basic understanding of what percent of their work is opportunity. Now I could go and tell them all to take cycle times and show me the data. But the problem is at this point, there's really not a lot of understanding about how to do that and how to get accurate times, and really to understand and distinguish between what would be value added and not value added, and looking at all the different waste, the different forms of waste, and be able to come up with a clear understanding of what am I talking about when I say value added. So often we don't get granular enough information. So what I do is I just walk through the organization and I take a look at each individual that's in the production process. And I just say yes or no whether they're doing value added work. So let's say I'm going through a production line and there's 22 people working on this line. And each time I see one of them, I just make a note of whether they were doing something value added or something non-value added. So if they were walking over to a parts bin to grab a part, it's non-value added. If they're actually turning a wrench or installing a part or painting something or fixing a sticker on something, even though they may be inefficient, they're still value added because there are things that are adding, they're changing the form, fit, or function of the product. So those things I give them credit for. So I walk through 22 people and let's say 4 of them are doing something value added and the other 18 are not. I can take a ratio and do the math and understand what percent. Now, obviously, statistically, it's not quite perfect, but it gives me a ballpark. And chances are I'm not going to be off by more than 20 or 30%. I might catch people on a bad time, and there may be a little bit of a aberration in the time I went through. Now, for me, it's just an initial read. And generally, I get people arguing if I say you're only 15% value added on the back of the envelope, math like that. But what I also can say is you can do this yourself. So if you're a manager, you can go every day and take a look and for a week, track your team every day, and you'll end up with some data points to be able to say what is the average number of people each day that are doing value-added work at any given time, and that'll give you a good view of your operation. So the biggest thing here is, when I go into an organization at this point, very early on, they don't have all the tools to make improvements yet. But what they do have is they can have their eyes opened by how much opportunity there is. And when there's more opportunity, people tend to be more receptive if they can kind of see what I'm talking about. So it's just a quick way to get that view of how an operation is running and what I think I can provide for them as a consultant. And for you as a manager, it should be a way to see what your opportunities are when you're setting goals and trying to be aggressive throughout the year. So it's just a quick trick to use to try to get a great understanding of how to back of the envelope gauge your value-added, non-value work. Again, I'm Jeff Hayek, and this is my virtual consulting series. I hope you enjoy it. Till next time, signing out.